This video is brought to you by Asub12 Productions. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to enjoy the videos. Also, please try and comment and rate the videos. Thank you.
Oh no. Oh, I thought you could actually use breaks in there. Maybe you can't. That's unusual. Okay, so we can't use breaks in ifs then, apparently. But let's just okay, I know how to demonstrate this better. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to switch these around. So I'm going to put that down there. Okay, and now rather than outputting first and then breaking, we're going to break then output. Okay, and we'll see the results of that. So let's just play it. So anyway, quickly to run, just before, let's make a hypothesis. What it's going to do is it's going to output its 5, then output its 10, then theoretically it should output its 5 as well. And then whatever this yields again. But let's see what happens here. Okay, so it outputs its 5 from this, and it outputs its 10, remember, because there's no break. But it doesn't output its 5 here, and that's because the break statement was before. And that broke out of the switch, so it didn't even have a chance to output its 5. Using this break statement in this switch is kind of like putting return 0 up here. Okay, if I put return 0 up here and run this, we're going to see a window flash up and then flash away. So what it's doing basically is it's outputting its 5 and its 10, and then it's returning, so it's ending the entire program. And that's kind of like what the break does. Although it only ends the switch, it's still, although it only breaks out of the switch, it still breaks out of something. Okay? So let's just change these around again. So, oops. Count, it's 5. Break. Okay, and I'll just remove this as well. Right, now, let's just take a look at the tiny error we have here. If we have 6 in F, what it's going to do is it's going to check if 1's in F, then it's going to check if 5 is in F, then it's going to check if 10 is in F. But it's not checking if 6 is in F, so what's going to happen? Well, let's just take a quick look. Okay, so it outputs its 5, and then it outputs its 10 from the first, and then it skips. Sorry, it doesn't skip, it still checks all this. But what's happening is, because we don't have a case 6, it's going to, sorry, brain dead. Because it doesn't have a case 6, it's not going to check, sorry, none of these 3 cases are going to come up true, so it's just going to completely bypass that switch statement and go on to the next switch statement. So how do we solve this problem? Well, remember, this is, whoops, not that, this bit is still different to this, and that's because of this default bit. And it's pretty self-explanatory what the default thing does. Again, let's just quickly run through this. So we got int L equals 4, case 1, case 5, case 10, so it's checking for 1, 5, and 10, and then it's got a default, and the default just says unknown, so it outputs unknown. And it's, again, it's pretty self-explanatory what the default does. If all the others fail, then play the default, and you don't actually need a break statement in the default, because the default is the last thing that's checked. Sorry, not checked. It's the last thing that's run if it needs to be run. And default is kind of like an else statement in an if block. Okay, so this is just this just demonstrates that switches are pretty much very close to if blocks. The only reason you'd use a switch instead of an if block, though, is when you want to check very short values, because it's a lot easier to type all this out than it is to type this out in an if block. Okay, it's just a lot shorter. So that's where you'd use switches instead of if blocks. Now I'm just going to change this to 5 quickly, just to demonstrate that this does actually work. Okay, and at the bottom here we can see it's 5. Now if I change that back to 4, where is it here? If I change that back to 4, press play, you guys might have seen this before, but it said unknown, and that's because 1 isn't in L, 5 isn't in L, 10 isn't an L, so it just reverts to the default statement and that just outputs unknown. So this is pretty much the end of the tutorial. I think I explained switch statements in C++ a bit better than I explained them in my JavaScript tutorial. So I hope I've done okay. This tutorial is a lot more easy to understand than the if tutorial I did, which was kind of complicating, I know. But anyway, if you have any questions for any of the tutorials, feel free to leave a comment or give me a PM. This has been an ACID 12 tutorial, over and out.